Hi everyone, how's everybody doing today? Come on guys. How's everybody doing today? Thank you. Well, hello everyone. My name is Helen Casa and I am a sophomore here at Santa Clara University. I wanted to start off again by just saying congratulations to all of you who are admitted to this amazing school. You guys are here because of all the all-nighters you pulled, the endless SAT prep you did, the study groups you coordinated, the community service that you organized and participated in, but most importantly because of your desire and expectation for excellence and personal growth. Each and every one of you are here with an amazing story that the world needs to hear. We are here because as people of color, we know how to get up after we are thrown and slammed down. So can we please have a round of applause for that? Because you are all, oops, sorry guys. Well, anyway, so we are here because you are all an example and a symbol of the strength, determination, and focus that it took to be here. And looking at all of you inspires me. I'm sure each and every one of you can reflect on a time where you felt small or incapable, but found a way to shine and end up here. Because when I was a freshman in high school, I was insecure with my capabilities. I always second-guessed my work, thinking that I couldn't compete or that I didn't know what I was talking about, even when I did. And one of my fears, as you could imagine, was public speaking. This was extremely problematic for me because I was an activist at heart. I cared about social justice, access to education, and was a feminist before it was a common hashtag. I had these ideas that none of my peers cared to listen to or understand. And for context, everything up to 2014 was a post-social justice era, meaning that civil rights and things like feminism were considered a subject of the past. So talking about those subjects was not as commonly as accepted as it is now. So what does one do in a situation like that? Do I have any guesses? No? Well, in those moments, that is when you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone and find a way, because the mission is always going to be more important than your personal insecurities. And I cared enough to force myself to join the speech and debate team. Believe me when I tell you, I sucked. I stuttered, I spoke quietly, I hesitated, and pretty much hated the whole experience because public speaking is one thing, but impromptu speech, meaning that you have to talk in front of people with no plan on a topic you're unfamiliar with, is completely a different thing. But I needed to overcome it, so still determined to do better, I researched online for speech and debate summer camps looking for a lifeline, and I found Santa Clara University's summer debate camp. At this camp, I met SU's debate coach, Milan Jach, and I told him that I was a beginner, I wasn't comfortable with public speaking, and that I needed some hand-holding. So naturally, on the first day of camp, right after doing introductions with the other campers, he puts me and a more advanced debater against each other and made us debate in front of everyone. So I got my time to prep, wrote my opening speech, and totally remember in that moment looking down at my notes, wondering why I was doing this to myself. I stood up, gave the opening speech, and listened to the opposition destroy my arguments one by one until I realized that he wasn't, because I had responses for each and everything that he had said. I told myself to just trust my gut, and if I was wrong or misinformed, that it didn't matter because I came here to learn. Turned out, I knew exactly what I was talking about and won that practice round. I came into that camp at Santa Clara not knowing a single thing about debate, and left with not only confidence in my speech and technique, but a newfound desire to pursue law and engage more in local politics. I felt valued as a student and saw my own potential, which is a feeling I haven't experienced to this day at any other institution or school. The camp served as a sample of the type of education and opportunity that Santa Clara University could offer me as a future undergraduate student. So that was why I decided to come here. Though I did not continue doing debate, I still consider the experience a major factor to my success so far. Because of the self-esteem and confidence I was able to build for myself here at Santa Clara all those years ago, I was able to be the activist that I knew I could be. I was heavily involved with the NAACP, known as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, one of the oldest civil rights organizations in the United States, where I held positions ranging from a general member to secretary, then treasurer, and then I became president of my chapter. I then worked my way up to being the education chair for California and Hawaii Youth and College Division, and even became a nominee to be one of the youngest members on the national board. While holding these positions, I used these platforms to speak. I gave speeches to a variety of audiences all over the country and world, ranging from kids like local officials, the mayor, city council, all the way to speaking at the United Nations climate talks in Paris, France, where I advocated for environmental justice and against environmental racism. But like I said before, I have always had a heart for service and justice. Public speaking was never my only avenue to satisfy this goal. I organized workshops, events, fundraisers, and even founded my own nonprofit organization, both here and in the Bay Area, as well as Ethiopia, to promote access to education. As you can imagine, I came into college with some practical experience working in organizations, dealing with budgets, and managing people. However, I still knew that I wasn't done growing, and I knew that Santa Clara would teach me at least a lesson or two. But what I didn't expect were the other 30+ lessons that I ended up learning here in my so far 2 years. Starting college is exciting, but also scary. You're entering a new world with practically no context or background to the people around you or the opportunities that are presented to you. You'll meet a million people who seem so nice, when in reality, everybody is just trying to make a friend so they aren't alone. Loyalty and real friendships aren't always found with the first or even 10th person you meet. Trust is something that you'll find that you will lend out and lose at times. And this is why I found my first 6 months at college to be telling about the real world. Because the real world is about not having any context and having to navigate through the fog, with your only compass being your sense of self. Because college is the time to explore who you are, it is the opportunity to also explore who you want to be. The first step that I took was by first looking at how I perceived myself, then questioning why I felt the way I did about certain things, and then wondered whether I was an ethical person. Then I asked myself how the present version of me compared to the person that I wanted to be. And once I did that, I was able to just reverse engineer it. This is a constant work in progress with constant shifting and adjusting of my end goal. When you feel control of your identity, your thoughts, your self-worth, then you'll be strong enough and clear enough to tackle some of the hard questions. When you are confident in those ways, you, then like Socrates, will know that true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing at all. The only things you do know are your intentions, your history, your past, and the fact that you're all newly admitted Broncos. Can I get a go Broncos?
Broncos.
Thank you. Everything else is subjective. This is a major key because, for one, it is important to recognize that all colleges and universities, Santa Clara included, are reflections of this country. This includes political climate and ideology. At this school, you will meet people who sit on both ends of the political spectrum. Issues that you may feel are simple and easy choices, whether it be gun regulations, free access to healthcare, or a woman's right to choose, you will be challenged. But this is the nature of life, and that happens everywhere you go. However, that is also what differentiates Santa Clara University from other universities and institutions. Where we or others may see conflict, Santa Clara sees an opportunity to open up a dialogue and bridge that gap. Whether it be an issue of political discourse or a gap in access to equity, the university does not shy away from the challenge without a solid fight. In fact, most of this work is student-led and then sponsored and pushed by administration. Something I've noticed from working with administration is that the university understands that they are here to serve us and do what they can to meet our needs, though sometimes there are a few hoops that you need to jump through. As many of you know, the school encourages us as students to be committed to service. Because of this, I am granted the flexibility to be involved on and off campus. On campus, I'm involved in student government. As a first year, I decided that I wanted to run for first year senator elected seat. I campaigned extremely hard and was elected 2 years in a row. As a senator, I expected to do basic senatorial duties like approving budgets, approving funding requests for student clubs, and meeting with my constituents. But the cool thing about student government is that it can be whatever you want it to be, meaning that you can pursue any project that you are passionate about. So in addition to the normal expectations, I've worked and designed a variety of projects centered around sustainability, education, race, gender, political gaps, and more. And these projects range from easy to hard. The challenges lie in all different areas. But personally, I have found student government to be one of the best choices I have ever made because it has forced me to face new barriers, therefore forcing me to grow and refine my skills. For example, I have two main projects around sustainability. The first one was really easy. Students were stressed about buying boxes for move out at the end of spring quarter. I saw that problem, and my solution was to provide free boxes. I collected and sorted hundreds over the course of 4 days and made an event out of it for students to come and pick up as many boxes as they needed, first come, first served, with my selection of amazing music. And the second sustainability project was to address our campus sustainability goals for transportation. This project was the hard one. This project taught me patience, but more specifically, how to deal with bureaucracy. This project truly tested, believe me, it truly tested my will to carry a project from start to finish. But the goal, in sum, was to get the university to invest in eco-passes, now called smart passes, which would be clipper cards for SU students, allowing them to take advantage of the VTA public transportation to explore the greater community. This would create options to steer students away from Uber, Lyft, and single occupancy vehicles. And the project required me to focus on the two main parties at hand. One, students, and the other, administration. Students needed to see the value here. They needed to understand how the buses and routes worked, as well as proof that it was easier and more affordable. The big issue around transit was simply students not being familiar with the area and therefore getting lost on the bus. Whereas for administration, the issue centered more around budgeting, funding, money, moolah, and money. I was constantly in meetings, constantly working up proposals, making edits, doing surveys, collecting data, creating marketing materials. I'm even working on a film to do a mock Amazing Race Santa Clara edition to create more hype for this project. I mean, believe me, I really believe that the mission of sustainability and lowering our campus carbon emissions is worth all of this work. But the project, though exhausting, is building my endurance. I digress on the details, but the lesson learned here is that no doesn't mean no, but rather no means work harder, no means research more, no means try again tomorrow. And even if this project never becomes a reality for SCU, I'm getting an invaluable experience working closely and hands-on with the movers and shakers that make this school what it is. In regards to my project centered around education, race, gender, political gaps, and civic engagement, I was nominated and appointed to serve as the chair for the Bridging the Gap ad hoc committee. Here, I work with campus political clubs and members of the student body to have open dialogues about controversial issues such as immigration, undocumented students, birth control, abortion, gun regulations, the presidency, human rights, you name it. The goal of the committee is to foster connections and depolarize our campus by, again, highlighting commonality between the parties. We are also oriented towards increasing civic engagement by hosting Meet the Candidate forums and debates during election seasons, as well as offering opportunities for students to register to vote. Again, these are just some examples of some of the things I have done and am doing, and I share these simply as proof for you to know that whatever you're passionate about, you can achieve it here at Santa Clara. If you're passionate, there's a place and opportunity for you to pursue it. For me, my on-campus organization of choice was the Associated Student Government. For you, it could be the Multicultural Center, Into the Wild, Greek Life, a STEM-based club, or one of the hundreds of other organizations that we have here at Santa Clara. As I mentioned, there are so many opportunities to be involved off-campus as well. For me, off-campus, I serve as the African American Community Service Agency as a board member and volunteer. There I do collaborative work with neighboring universities and colleges. I act as a board member and a liaison for Santa Clara. We have programs like STEM Saturdays to expose young elementary and middle school students of color to STEM. We offer coding, robotics, science classes, and in fact, I've actually been working with some of our STEM clubs here on campus, one being NESB, our Black Engineers Club, to volunteer and teach this program. Again, another way for you to be involved on and off campus. So, as I mentioned, I am passionate about creating opportunity, equity, and advocating for those who feel silenced, and I have found more than an opportunity to act on that here. But truth be told, sometimes I accidentally prioritize my extracurriculars over my academics. And this will happen to all of us. So when that does happen, I have found that Santa Clara has so many resources to help students get back on their feet. The Drummond Tutoring Center has saved me so many times when I was lost in my business, calc, and econ classes. Professors are always available when you need guidance or clarification about the lessons or assignments. And more importantly, they are understanding and work with you and give extensions if necessary. At SCU, professors are more concerned with making sure that we leave each class knowing something. The grades are secondary. So, actually, I wanted to take this moment to get a feel of how many of you are first-generation college students. Can you just raise your hands? Wow, okay, well, so am I. And this honor, as some of you may know, comes with great burdens. But have no fear, Santa Clara's Lead Scholars Program is designed to help students like us transition into college and ensure that we are aware of all the resources that are available to us. I don't want to get into too much detail about what LEAD is about, but LEAD definitely enhanced my Santa Clara experience by, of course, helping me when I was lost, but most importantly, providing me with a family and community. As LEAD scholars, you will get to come to school a week earlier than everyone else in order to familiarize yourself with the campus, make friends, and start your core English class. Then during the school year, you get to take a 2-unit course once a week, but again, I won't go into too much detail. But the point is, because of LEAD, I was able to start my real first day of school confident and not alone. While walking through campus in a sea of strangers that did not look like me, I was able to find comfort in the warm, familiar faces that I saw amongst the crowd. So I highly encourage those of you who are first generation to apply for the LEAD Scholars Program. And in fact, I believe they're going to be having a workshop here today, so make sure you go check that out and get more information. But one of my favorite things about the academics here at SCU is that they're all very holistic, allowing us to get exposure to other cultures, walks of life, and areas of study. For example, as a political science major, I'm expected to take math courses, an art class, 3 years of language, a science with lab, religion, and my personal favorite, an ELSJ course. So I'm sure without even telling you guys the acronym, I'm sure you could guess why ELSJ is one of my favorites, but I won't make you guess. I'll tell you that ELSJ stands for Experimental Learning for Social Justice. This course has 2 parts. One is a lecture, and the second is hands-on experience with volunteering in the community you are studying. My class was about ethics and marginalized people. Rather than focusing around people of color or people marginalized for their race, their religion, or their gender, we studied poverty, illness, old age, and the LGBTQ community. This class provided me with an amazing perspective and opened my eyes to see the world with a more socially conscious eye. While taking this course, I volunteered in an Alzheimer's center where I worked with older people with limited mobility as well as mental illness. But other than ELSJ, being a core requirement, the university allows for a variety of opportunities to get boots on the ground experience via immersion trips that range from domestic to international. Or if you have your own project idea, you can apply for funding via the Jean Donovan or other fellowships granted through different departments. But again, I won't go too far into this because I'm sure all that information will be presented to you from every angle. But overall, I just want to conclude by saying that today, I wanted to focus on student experience. And my message to you all is that Santa Clara University is truly a community. The resources here are renowned, the opportunities are endless, the quality of facilities and overall beauty of our campus is breathtaking, and our midnight mozzarella sticks are a 10 out of 10. Whether you choose to come here or not, I hope you all remember that you all sitting here is a symbol of your excellence and strength. I also want to emphasize that you are transitioning into a seriously amazing portion of your life where your choices today could one day change the world tomorrow. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope to welcome you all home to my home next year. Go Broncos.